At Miami Fanwear in Davie. They're your one-stop shop for all your Inter Miami CF, Canes, Dolphins, Panthers, and Marlins merchandise. They have hats, t-shirts, game day jerseys, and so much more. Located at 2511 South University Drive in Davie and open 24/7 online at caneswear.com or intermiamiwear.com. Call them at 954-835-5597. Caneswear, the spot where Inter Miami and all Miami sports fans shop.
For over 16 years, EJDconstruction.com has provided South Florida residents quality craftsmanship, accurate project management, and exceptional service. That's why EJDconstruction.com is an A-rated member of Angie's List and the Better Business Bureau. When you're looking for the right custom home builder for additions or home remodeling, please call my friend Eric at 305-433-4843. That's 305-433-4843 for EJDconstruction.com.
Statements or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc. ownership, management, sponsors, or website. It's time for Dolphins football. Welcome to the EJDconstruction.com Miami Dolphins pregame show on the Sports Talk 305 network. The show is mastered by Sean Stanley and Chad Shobe. EJDconstruction.com is a fully insured liability and workers' comp. Call Eric if you need a custom home builder or general contractor. 305-433-4843. Here's your host, the Big O.
Oh, baby, we are locked and loaded and ready to go. Oh, yes, looking for 3-0. The Miami Dolphins are hosting the Denver Broncos today at Hard Rock Stadium, and we are here, our home away from home, walk-ons in Kendall. You wanted a place to come see the games with us? Well, here we are, man. And they open up, at 11 now, right? They just open the doors right now, right when we start the broadcast. So if you're anywhere near the Kendall area, you're not going to the game, come on over, man. Come join us. We got TVs galore. The food is amazing. The service is second to none. They've got arcade games for the kids, got all kinds of stuff going on. I don't know. I really want to take that multicade home with me. I love the multicade because it's got 40 different, I could play Pac-Man, and then I could play Miss Pac-Man, and then I could play Space Invaders. Then I want to play a little Robotron. Then I can lose badly in Stargate or Defender. God, I love Stargate Defender because it's kind of the same game, Stargate and Defender. But, man, I sucked at that game. I never was able to get good at Stargate or Defender. Did you ever get good at that game? You know which one that is? The one of the spaceship?
Was that ColecoVision? When was that?
It's like a quarter game. But
no, I don't think I've ever played that one.
Really?
Is that like Galaga or anything?
Yeah, Stargate.
Galaga I'm good at, but I would never play Stargate.
We actually we have a Galaga at home. That's my wife's favorite game.
Yeah, I'm good at that one.
Yeah. But I love Stargate. And Defender was the same thing. It was just kind of like, I guess, two different companies probably, right? And but I never got good at it, bro. Sucked at it. Always sucked at it, man. And it was one of those games that, you know what, the day that, maybe one day I get a little comfortable or something, I should go buy a Stargate machine. So then when I have it at home, play it every day and become good at it. And then I can I can solve one of my problems in life, that I wasn't good at Stargate. Okay? That's a huge it's bothering me. I'm, 56 years into this world, and it still bothers me that
I can tell it's been harping on you.
Yeah, bro. I was good at Donkey Kong, Frogger, Q*bert, you name it, bro. Galaga, very good in a bunch of games.
You lost some people at Q*bert, I guarantee you.
You don't know Q*bert?
No, I know Q*bert, but I guarantee you there's a lot of people going, Q*bert.
Yeah, bro, Q*bert. Everybody knows Q*bert with the boom, 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 boom.
They probably know them more
Frogger.
from the Wreck-It Ralph than they do the actual video game.
Dig Dug, another one that I kicked ass in. You know what I mean? There was a lot of games that I kicked ass in. Didn't kick ass in Asteroids. I think it's because it kind of bored me. That's probably what it was. But anyway, so you've got all the games here for the kids. You got all the great food. They got a deck outside that is beautiful, under roof, giant roof, fans everywhere, so it stays cool. We're going to be giving out prizes in between every quarter. All right. So what we do is, while all the folks, while they're out here eating, you will get a raffle ticket. And so I will then grab the mic in between quarters, like we did last year throughout the Cane season, and give away prizes. And we got all kinds of stuff. Let's see. What are we giving away today? We're giving away a nice Dolphins hat. We're giving away a Dolphins T-shirt, by the way. What else? We got, for the ladies, bracelet, Dolphins bracelet. I got some gift cards that we're going to give away. Oh, a Mike McDaniel. How about that, huh? What else do we have? We have Perdomo, lighter, cutter. Right? I think there's a lighter and a cutter in here. I got two of those. It's like $100 value. Oh, yeah, that's right. And another $25 gift card from Caneswear. And we're giving away a couple of Big O shirts. So those are limited, those shirts. There aren't a lot of those Big O T-shirts available. We're going to be printing some more very soon. We're working on everything now. Put all that in there. Yeah, let the promotions director handle all of it. So we got a bunch of prizes, and I know that they usually have some other prizes that they're also going to give me, that they usually hand out also. So it'll be all kinds of stuff. Every quarter we'll be giving away all kinds of prizes and gift cards and stuff like that, and we'll do that. We got 3 more dates here, and I can give them to you. I can pull it up in a short amount of time, which is pretty cool. Next month, October 29th, against New England. Then November 19th against the Raiders. And we will spend New Year's Eve here because they play the Baltimore Ravens at 1 o'clock. Although we're done by 7, so we're done way early before the 31st festivities and all that kind of stuff. But we'll be here on the 31st. Against the Ravens. So those are the 4 dates that we're out here at Walk-Ons in Kendall, man. Looking forward to it. This is going to be fun. I doubled down on the Dolphins today. So I dropped my trifecta, okay, for this Sunday. And the picks I made were the Dolphins minus 5.5. Money came in on Denver. The line went down to 5.5. I got it at 5.5 this morning. So I took it at 6 and I took it at 5.5. They're going to win by 10. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. That they'll win by 10. I think there's a lot of motivation in this game. Plus, they're home. I really, the home opener. I just think there's a lot of juice behind this game overall. And I know Waddle's out, as we told you all week long, that he was not going to play this week. We told you, and, others want to try to keep it alive or something like that to keep it a note. We don't play that game here, bro. I don't need to keep you on a hook to keep, to get an extra, view from you or click or anything like that. So, we told you that Waddle was going to be out this week. You know what I mean? So he's out, and they elevated Robbie Chosen. That's the question I had. The question wasn't whether Waddle was going to play or not. I knew he wasn't going to play. But the question was, would it be Robbie Chosen or Braylon Sanders? And then the next question is, today, this is what I like about this. This is very intriguing. I like this because this puts a challenge on Tua. This puts a challenge on McDaniel because now you don't have Waddle and you don't have that impressive speed out there, right? That's a threat. Nobody really can do what Chosen can't do that. Okay, no, anybody that tells you Robbie Chosen can do the same things, no, he can't. Okay, he cannot play tough underneath and in traffic. That's not who Robbie Chosen is. Robbie's an outside guy. He's a space guy. That's what he is. He's not a traffic guy. He's not a physical player whatsoever. So my question is, you activated Robbie, but is he really going to get some playing time? And how much? Or is he there to back up Cedric Wilson? And then here's the other thing. Now, you don't do this for these purposes, okay? You don't showcase Cedric Wilson because, oh, hey, there's a great chance to showcase him and force it. No. If Robbie's playing better and you feel he's the better threat, then you use Robbie instead of Cedric. But if Cedric is used today, then that tells me that obviously they like his progress. And two, the bonus to it is you're showcasing him for the deadline. And people are going to get injured around the league. People are going to need wide receivers. And maybe you can unload Cedric Wilson for some kind of a pick, and you'll get something out of it at least. You know what I'm saying? So that's like a little nugget on the side of all of this with Cedric Wilson, but it's what I want you to look at because now that Waddle isn't playing, you now got to see, okay, what's the rest of the breakdown after that? Berrios is going to get a lot of run. He's the slot guy, and I would imagine that today, without Waddle, Tua's going to depend on Berrios a little bit more. Then it's Craycraft, Cedric Wilson, Robbie Chosen, Eric Ezukama. And this is the other thing I talked about throughout the week on the show. I want to see Eric Ezukama more as a wide receiver out there because you saw how New England shut him down as a runner because they prepared for him as a runner. And that's all you've pretty much displayed him so far in the first couple of weeks. First couple of weeks and in the preseason game, remember? They ran him in the preseason game as Ezukama. So the 3 times you've whipped him out, okay? It's been running. You need to sell pass now with Ezukama. It's kind of like the way that Mike McDaniel doesn't want a tight end that's one-dimensional, that can only pass catch and can't block, because then he can't sell to the defense why that player's on the field. Oh, that dude can't block. He's only there to pass. So he's not staying on the line. Let's take care of that. So now you have one less guy on the line because he's taken off. 2, he's taken off, so you just know you have to cover him. See what I'm saying? And if it's a blocking guy, the reverse. Oh, that guy's not going out. That guy's not a threat. That guy's staying there to block. That's it. There's nothing to sell. So Ezukama, you need to sell him as a wide receiver. So that's why I don't even know if Robbie Chosen will get a lot of reps. Just because he was activated, it might just be for insurance purposes because they have a 4th rounder invested in Ezukama. They brought back Craycraft because they like him, and they invested in Berrios. So I would imagine that these guys are going to be, the main characters here. And then Cedric Wilson, depending on how comfortable he is, how comfortable they are with him, how much do they use him opposite of Tyreek? Because what I think you're going to see a lot of is I don't think you're going to see a permanent number 2 today. I think Berrios is your permanent number 3 because I always thought Berrios is your permanent number 3. But the number 2, I think you're going to see packages. I think it's all opposite of Tyreek, and depending on down and distance, situation in the game, the court, where you're at in the game, and the late in the first half, late in the second half, that's going to determine what packages you use. So an Ezukama might be used more in the red zone because a bigger body, those kind of things. A Robbie Chosen or a Cedric Wilson might be used more on the 30, 40, 50-yard line, so you can use him a little bit more downfield if you need to use him downfield and work the underneath stuff. You know what I mean? Although Robbie Chosen's not really an underneath guy, Cedric can do that. Craycraft can do that. So that's why there's more versatility with some of these other receivers than Robbie Chosen. So I'll be very interested to see what is the rotation of wide receivers. And I don't think there's going to be a method behind the madness that it's like, okay, we're settling on these three guys and that's it. Here you go. This is what we're trying to do. I don't think so. I think it's going to be all determined throughout the game, depending on the down and distance and where you're at, like I said, and then we'll see those combinations. So I'm actually really excited about this because I want to see McDaniel's mind, and then I love the challenge for Tua on this. You know, I think this is awesome for Tua, believe it or not, because you're going to miss guys throughout the year, and you have to adjust as a player, and then you have to adjust the way you attack things. And now you're not going to have those two top line guys out there. Now you only have one. So now you know, are they going to use Surtain Jr. with them all the time? Is he going to run around with them all the time? And in this heat and humidity, whoo, doggy. Boy, and if we get a little rain and a little more humidity and it starts baking and people start, I don't want it for you all in the stadium because I know it gets hot and humid. I don't want you all to sweat, but it's an advantage for the boys. So that would be really nice, the heat and the humidity. I don't know if they're going to have Surtain running around. That was a great point that Sean made throughout the week that, you might have Surtain follow Tyreek, but do you do that in this heat for 4 quarters? And then the other thing is, how much do you make this a track meet or how much do you run the ball on these guys? You know what I'm saying? Because it is there is heat and humidity, and I'm sure the running game will be a big part of it. It'll be a nice chunk, 45, 50, 55% of what you're doing today. I'm pretty sure it's going to be a nice chunk today because, again, you're home, the heat, the humidity. Wear these guys out, bro. Beat them up. Soften them up and then hit them over the top or work the middle of the field if they want to play deep safeties. That'll be interesting to see how they play these wide receivers and how Mike McDaniel counters all of this. I am so intrigued. I cannot wait, folks. I really cannot wait. Baptist Health of South Florida, folks. You don't need to be a professional athlete to go where the pros go. The doctors at Baptist Health Orthopedic Care can now see you. Visit baptisthealth.net/ortho to request an appointment and get yourself back in the game. So if you have an injury that's keeping you from doing what you love, you're a tennis person, you love jogging, whatever it is, pickleball, which is just a craze now, folks, take charge of your health and get back in the game with the help of the all-pro staff at Baptist Health Orthopedic Care. And by the way, in our post-game show, David Furones will be joining us with our baptisthealth.net/ortho post-game report. It'll be straight from the locker room, so we'll get the latest. And use that QR code that's there so you can reach out to the people at Baptist Health. And so proud of one of our listeners this week that went to Baptist Health and got the colonoscopy like I did. And again, please don't be as stupid as I did. I waited till I was 56. That's not very smart. So if you're already into your late 40s, early 50s, please do it. And it's not invasive. It's not embarrassing. It's not uncomfortable. Baptist Health does an incredibly professional job, and they make you feel very comfortable in a process that I thought was terrifying. And that was the ignorance on my part. And I failed there. And I got lucky that everything went well. But I'm just telling you, folks, so if you got an injured limb, go see Baptist Health. For so many other things in life, Baptist Health is there for you like it's been for the Alzugaray family. Yes, sir. Safedine also? Oh, I'm sorry. Safedine is Baptist Health. EJD Construction, which is our title sponsor, is David Furones. It's a lot of insiders, man. Forgive me. I get them mixed up. And of course, you are listening to the EJDconstruction.com Miami Dolphins pregame show. Oh, man. Eric is the man. Chris Daughtry is out in New York, in upstate New York. Just like you point out, I'm happy I was right 2 days ago about Chosen and Legion of Zoom. I do like the Legion of Zoom. I do like that. I think that's a really cool name, Legion of Zoom. That is actually very, very cool. NorCal Dolphin says, Miles Deep, you should head over to Tommy Rockers with Las Vegas Dolphin Club. Yes, that's right, Miles Deep. I'm in Vegas next week. Sean and I arrived there Wednesday night, and Sunday we're going to be broadcasting live from Tommy Rockers in Las Vegas. We're going to be doing our pre- and post-game show for the Dolphins and the Bills on the road in Las Vegas at Tommy Rockers. How about that, dude? So that's going to be cool. We'll be on the stage like we were last time when we went for the NFL draft, and we had a great time at Tommy Rockers. So for the Las Vegas Dolphin Club, we're going to be putting out stuff on social media starting today. At some point, my man here will make a billboard, and we'll put it all out there, and we'll start getting it going for the next week while we work our way to it like we did for this game, and we started promoting it a week ago today. And so we'll do the same thing. And love to see you all out there. And I always get all these guys, Miles Deep, other guys. What's it called? Brian Carroll, who's out there in Vegas. All the Vegas folks that always are listening and stuff. Well, we're there, man. And we're at a Dolphins bar in Vegas. I mean, you can't beat that, dude. And Tommy Rockers is a fun place to go hang out and have a good time. Let's stifle Russell Wilson and suffocate the whole team at home today. Let's hope. Let's hope they're able to do that. Big O shout out from Massachusetts. Go Phinz. Don't forget, folks, to smash the hell out of the like button. Okay. We've got. Let me see. We got 255 right now on the chat board. Is that right? The number is 9. Do you have 9? I only have 9. Is that true? No, wow, that's weird. I wouldn't think it's that bad. I would think it would be a lot more. How come mine doesn't change from 9? Anyway, I don't know what the number is, but hit the hell out of it, man. Hit the hell out of that like button, please. Chris Trevez, thank you for the love on the super chat. Remember, you can always make a donation through Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show, even a little Bitcoin too. You can send in on Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. Sweet Baby Ray says we can blame Coach Flo for the Chubb injury. If we could have kept Minka, it would have never happened. Well, listen, man, at this point, let's not, remember how I tell you guys all the time, forget the past and all that stuff. Forget that. If this, if that, that's not going to get you anywhere. Let's stay in the reality. The reality is Flo's sorry ass isn't here anymore. The reality is Mike McDaniel's here, and Tua's thriving, and so is the offense. And this is the best Miami Dolphins team roster you've had since the early 90s. Those of you that weren't even born in the early 90s, that I just want you to know this is the greatest Dolphins team you're watching. And if they go out on the field and they continue to play well, we're now going to start comparing them to teams in the 80s. Because I want you to know this roster is better than the teams in the early 90s. It just hasn't proven it yet, but it will. With time, this will be the better roster than the roster in the early 90s. Okay? Just the way it is. Sorry. This defense is superior to what they had in the early 90s. And the quarterback isn't, but the quarterback is still great, the one you have now. May not be Marino, but he's still great, and you can do everything and anything you want with Tua and win at an elite level. So that I'm not worried about. But the offense, might be equal or superior to the early 90s. So this is a team that's got all the potential. Much better offensive mind, much better defensive coordinator, much better front office, by the way, than the early 90s. Oh, my God, way better. Okay, this is the best front office you've had since Bobby Beathard. So, kids, ask your dad, ask your grandpa about Bobby Beathard. That's how long ago. So leave the past. Forget about if that. Minka's in Pittsburgh, it's over. You've got Javon Holland. Okay, you've got Chubb. All right, it is what it is. Chubb played a hell of a game last week. He should have all the motivation today to play like an absolute werewolf. Okay? So just leave the past, man. Leave the past. If this, if that. The reality is your team is awesome right freaking now, dude.
Earlier you were talking like button, right? Like button or watching?
Like button, yeah.
No, because in the chat, I think they were looking at the viewing. So because some were like, I have 269, I have 299, but it was okay. Just want to make sure.
It's the likes. I'm talking about the likes. I only have 9. I don't know, but maybe it's frozen or something, like some weird thing. I don't know. Thank you, the Drew. I appreciate it. Yeah, I do like the shirt. I figured I got to wear Dolphins today, obviously, and then, dude, Inter plays tonight at 7:30, and they're playing for. And last night we gained. Everybody lost that Inter needed to lose. It was so awesome yesterday. So if they can pull out a victory today, and Busquets apparently is going to rest. You saw that? No, but he needs a rest, man. It makes him much that much.
It does, but with those two out, I felt better with Busquets in there at least to keep everything together. Now I feel like we're back to what we were at the beginning of the year when we didn't look too well.
It's fair. But hopefully, they've learned and hopefully they've grown in the confidence and all those kind of things. So hopefully that will help out. Radio host says, good morning, Big O. Ready for a dub in impressive fashion, I think you mean. Receipts collected today from Tua, Vic, Chubb. We need to keep the foot on the gas. Hey. Butch Berry. Okay? Not only did Butch Berry get fired, but brother, the shit I got about Butch Berry from there was bad. And remember, he also had a bad rap at the University of Miami. So it's still too early, really, to say that Butch Berry's amazing. To be quite honest, it's only 2 games. But he's on pace to see, here's the thing about it. And maybe this is what happened with Butch Berry. Okay? I actually had this subject on my call sheet here to prepare for the show. And I wanted to bring it up because a lot of guys, right? Chubb got sent away. Fangio got fired, right? And then Tua, obviously Sean Payton talking a lot of shit about Tua, right? So you got guys that are motivated, and then so is Butch Berry also motivated for this. But sometimes, folks, we have to understand Kendall Lamb bounced around the league for 6-7 years. Couldn't figure it out. He might have found a home here today. He's been playing outstanding, dude. Mini camps, training camp, preseason, and now the regular season. God bless him. Did he find his groove? Maybe. Maybe he found the right coach, the right system, and he got the confidence he needed, and he figured it out. Rich Gannon bounced around the league all over the place, Minnesota, Kansas City. All of a sudden lands in Oakland with the Raiders and John Gruden. It's like it's his 8th or 9th or 10th year in the league. And he falls into the right system with the right coach, and the dude is in the MVP race. I think he might have won the MVP. I think Rich Gannon might have won the MVP or was second or third or something. But my point is, he was a Pro Bowler that year. He was a stud for like a couple years. Thanks to the system. Tua Tagovailoa. He gets drafted by a front office that wanted him, but a head coach that didn't, and a head coach that couldn't build an offensive staff. So Tua continued to, he had some success because he's a stud, but he didn't have the kind of success that you need from a franchise quarterback because he didn't have the people around him. You understand? And so this happens a ton. Raheem Mostert has bounced around all over the place. He'll tell you where he was cut. He'll tell you who he was cut by. He remembers all of it. And somehow or another, he's been able to play his best football right here with the Miami Dolphins. You see it with the Miami Heat, right? Aren't there players that don't excel in other places and then come to Miami and then they excel? So sometimes you just need to change the environment. And maybe that's what happened to Butch Barry. Maybe Butch Barry didn't have the control he wanted or the players he needed, or maybe he couldn't be himself, or maybe they couldn't handle him or something. I don't know what it is. But there's a lot of times, and it happens to all of us in life. Sometimes you go work somewhere where you start to realize, wow, I don't really fit here. I don't really like this place. I'm not going to be very productive here. I got to get out of here. And then you go somewhere else to work and you thrive because you have a better environment. You're given certain freedoms you didn't have before, whatever it is. And that happens. And so maybe that's the deal with guys like Butch Barry, with a guy like Kendall Lamb, with Tua Tagovailoa. You know, these are people that have had issues with other people and problems, and they weren't able to be their best because of whatever reason. But if you then see them be their best in other situations, then you have to kind of take into account and say, hey, maybe where they were, it wasn't a productive situation for them. Austin Jackson. Is Austin Jackson turning the corner? So he didn't have the proper coaching before, and now he has the proper coaching? Don't know. But maybe that's what it is. And so maybe that's what's going on with a guy like Butch Barry. Let's see. Chubb and Long got to show up. Yes, sir. They definitely do. What do you got, Sean?
I was going to add to what you're saying with what, I know what Peyton said and everything else, but everything wasn't, roses over in Denver last year either.
Right.
So, whether it was as bad as what Peyton said or whatever.
Maybe it was just dysfunction.
There was something going on.
Right. Maybe it was just dysfunction out there, and Butch Barry could, you're not going to overcome dysfunction. By the way, Chris Grier was part of dysfunction for 15 plus years. But he was never in charge. He could write his reports. Yeah, like I always tell people, okay, because I know how this business goes. Why do you think Chris Grier survived for 15 years? Why do you think every time they changed the coach and the general manager, they kept Chris Grier? Why do you think? Because scouts write reports. And reports are kept on hard drives. So everybody knows the player you liked and the player you didn't like. Everybody in the draft room. So at the end of the year, your general manager knows exactly the people that know the players that hit and the players that didn't. But remember, as I've told you many, many times, Chris Grier is black. Yeah, he's black. So you don't get the same opportunities. So he sat there for 15 years. But trust me, every boss kept him. Why? They kept reading those reports. So no matter what the dysfunction above him, his reports must have been pretty steady. Because from Jimmy to Wanstead to Cam Cameron and Joe Philbin and Jeff Ireland and Rick Spielman and what's the guy that was Randy Mueller, and everybody kept him. I tried to explain it to you idiots out there. Well, Chris Grier has been part of the problem. No, you moron. He was never part of the problem because they never took his advice. And guess what? He's running the ship now. Wow. Look what his advice has done. Holy shit. His advice, which I think I just started the broadcast by telling you, this is the best team since the early 90s. This is the best front office since Bobby freaking Beathard. Listen to me. This is the best front office since Bobby Beathard. We're going back to when I was a teenager in the late 70s. That's a long time ago, folks. Long time ago. So, these are things that sometimes you need a change of environment. And finally, they gave the minority an opportunity after giving it to every white guy available. And there you go. The minority came out and shined. But the dumbest thing, I just want you to know, because I know several of you said it, because there's 387 of you, and I'm sorry, but those of you that said that stupid ass line, Chris Greer's been part of the problem, please make sure you look in the mirror and say, wow, was I stupid for saying that? And that's all right, because you don't have the insight. So you're supposed to think like that, and then you're a tool and you repeat what another tool says and another tool says, because it probably started with some idiot media member, some writer, some television guy, some radio hack that said, oh, well, Chris Greer's part of the problem because he's been there. So, but I get it, bro. Most people have zero insight on the Dolphins, so they don't know. But you need the right environment to succeed in anything in life. And by the way, Chris Greer was not succeeding either, because he had Flo wanting Watson, and he had the owners going after Brady and going after this and that. And finally, you got rid of all the idiots, including the two owners. Now they shut the hell up and they're gone. I know Ross is still around, but he's not meddling. And now, guess what? Everything is smooth sailing, bro. Smooth sailing. Because you allowed Chris Greer to do his thing and not meddle and get in the way and screw things up. So maybe Butch Berry had a terrible situation. Maybe Bradley Chubb could. I mean, nobody's succeeding in Denver. So what the hell? Maybe those players aren't the problem. Maybe that situation was the problem. Yes, sir.
Marcel tweeted out the inactives.
Oh.
QB Skylar Thompson, of course, the emergency quarterback. Yeah. Wide receiver Jalen Waddle. Wide receiver Eric Ezekama. Tight end Tyler Croft. Running back Savon Ahmed. Offensive tackle Keon Smith. Cornerback Cam Smith. This means we'll see the season debut of Cedric Wilson, Elijah Campbell, Julian Hill, of course, Teron Armstead, and Jalen Phillips, also active after missing last week.
Ooh, I'm a little excited for Julian Hill. I like Julian Hill. You guys know I wanted Julian Hill on the 53, and he made it. He's the one guy that kind of looks like the best two-way guy, because he looks like he has a little bit more offensive skills than Durham Smythe. So I like that. Man of 1,005 Holds says, I'm surprised Greer didn't leave during the down years. Greer has plenty of patience, and look what he is now. Well, the problem is, Man of 1,005 Holds, if you leave a shit situation, they stain you with it. And so then who's going to give you a shot? You know what I mean? And so that's why he probably stayed there and stayed the course and waited and ended up, coming out on top. It's hard, dude, as a minority. It is hard, bro. And we'd like to think that doesn't exist, but it's the reality of life. And the minority just doesn't get the same opportunities in football, and especially in the front office. They don't put them enough in those positions of power. There aren't enough. And that's the problem. And so he had to wait. But I always would get frustrated with that whole thing. Oh, Chris Greer's part of the problem. He's been there. And it's like, bro, think about it. One boss after another keeps him. So what do you think? If his reports were terrible, why would they keep him? Doesn't make any sense. What tells you was he was kicking ass with his reports, and he was a value to each and every general manager and personnel director that was there, and they leaned on it. And they used it at times, and then at times they probably didn't even pay attention, but they knew that it was a commodity. So every single coach, every single general manager kept him. Tells you all you need to know. What it needed was that the owner had to wake the hell up and say, you know what, let me finally give this guy a chance. Because he's been in my organization forever. And everybody likes him, and everybody keeps him. Why? And finally the light went on. Either that or he read my article in The Athletic that said, hire Chris Grier and fire Mike Tannenbaum and Adam Gase. Because I did write that years ago. But whatever.
Oh, you think something's happening in Los Angeles? Chargers CB J.C. Jackson, who signed a 5-year, $82.5 million contract, healthy, inactive today.
Wow, so then he's
against the Vikings.
So then he must be he must have some setback. They call it healthy, but there must be something going on because he is coming back from a knee injury. He's not a bad dude. So I gotta think that because he looked bad, dude. He looked bad against Then again, Tyreek Hill would make anyone look bad. And if you're coming back from a knee injury and you got to cover Tyreek Hill, oh my God.
And they weren't giving him. I mean, Tyreek was doing that motion, so it wasn't like J.C. Jackson could even try to touch him. He was already in motion. So
yeah. So I listen, man. Maybe he's overrated. Maybe he had his moments in New England, and then they move on and they paid for a bust. Larry Brown Part 2, you remember from the Raiders? I don't know. We'll find out. But something tells me that he must have had that he's really not that healthy yet. He's really not himself. Mr. Bonafide goes, Chris Grier is black? Stop it, Big O. You're scaring them. Miami Breaker says, yet Joe Rose says he needs to. Nah, Joe Rose doesn't say that about Chris Grier still, does he? That's got to be stupid. There's no way he says that. If I see him again, when I see him in the press room or something like that, I'm going to ask him about that. Because I'll take his ass to task if he is that. Because that's just ridiculous. At this point, you got to be really stupid to want to fire Chris Grier. Like, it's personal then. I guess he doesn't talk to him or something. That's the only. If Joe still feels like that, then something happened between those two. I have no idea because I don't know Chris Grier that well or anything, but that must be some issue between those two. Because there's no way anybody should be negative about Chris Grier now. Grier hired McDaniel and traded for Hill and Ramsey. Enough said. And the two trades, the Tunsil trade, and the what's the other trade that he got a haul on? Tunsil and damn it! Oh, the Waddle deal when he moved down in the first round with San Francisco. Those two trades make him, I don't know, a Hall of Famer. Hall of Famer. What he got out of San Francisco's trade and the Tunsil trade, bro, there's no general manager in the history of the Dolphins that even comes close to those kind of moves. Not even close. Big O, Bobby Beathard was never general manager with Dolphins. He was director. Well, whatever. Director, player personnel, Joe Thomas, whatever. You know what I mean. Back in those days, the Bobby Beathard, Joe Thomas, that's the last time you had an elite front office. That's my point. Armstead and Phillips are both playing this. This is great for us. Yes. Somebody in the media asked me earlier in the week, what's going to happen with Waddle? And I said, you'll lose Waddle and you'll get Armstead and Phillips back. That's what I told him. I think like on Tuesday. And that's it. You'll be fine. It's no big deal.
I hope they listen to you and do not rush to run back. Play him enough snaps, get some time. And
well, it's for Buffalo.
Yeah, no, I know. But I mean, he always ends up getting.
I know, but he practiced.
Dinged up.
He's been practicing for 2 weeks now.
Yeah.
It was like a light week 2 weeks ago, then a heavy practice that last week. He was ready to play last week.
No, I know he could have gone and held him out, protect him.
Right, to see how the body responds.
Yeah,
Dude, he has no luck. What are you going to do?
No, I know. It's just
he has no luck. He has no luck.
Go in and just...
It's not such that he's injury prone, but somebody rolled up on his leg. That's how he got injured now. That's just he's not only injury prone, he's got no luck. But you got to play him, and you got to get him some reps today because you got to get him ready for Buffalo next week. You're on the road. It's another conference game. Dude, you got a shot at going 4-0 in the conference to open up the year. 4-0 in the conference, 2-0 in the division. Are you kidding me? Let's rock, baby. That is awesome. Remember, Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show. Cash App or Venmo. Cash Big O Show. Morning, Barry just reported Chosen and Wilson got the nod today. Yeah, I saw that already. We talked about it. Let's see what else. Tua's going to make Sean Payton eat crow after this game. I hope so. I hope Tua lights him up like a Christmas tree today. I hope he throws for another 400 yards and 4 touchdowns. Seriously, I hope he. What was it? What's that? It's in Scarface. I'm gonna carve you up really good, or something like he says. I'm gonna carve you up good. I don't know, but yeah, that's what I want him to do. I want him to carve him up really, really good. So Dolphins favored by 5.5. Over and unders 47.5. Waddle is out. Armstead and Jalen Phillips are back. Ezukama is inactive. That's not good for the youngster, by the way. Robbie Chosen is active. How about Cameron Good? Active. My boy is active for the 3rd straight week. I've been a big Cameron Good guy. He's played over almost like 25, 26 plays in the first couple of weeks. So he's gotten some activity. They've got to now add him to the 53-man roster after this game or cut him. One of the two. If you've played him 3 times in a row, you must like him, and somebody is losing a roster spot at the end of this week, or which is tomorrow. Okay? So, because I think he's going to go to the active roster. This tells me Fangio likes him. Fangio trusts him. That's huge, dude. That is absolutely huge. He's what?
Maybe he played himself onto the field on special teams. He's been doing, he's become
like Cam.
A standout on special teams. So they're like, we can't keep him down because
Cam Smith's been hustling like crazy on special teams as a flyer, dude. Kick some ass.
We'll see what happens. I don't know.
He was playing against Slater last week, which not easy, and he did a nice job, dude. Overall,
Slater was getting beat up. It was fun.
He took Slater into the water cooler, dude. That was fantastic. So Cam Smith, I love Cam Smith's moxie, bro. You can tell he's a dog. You can tell he's going to be a good one, man. He definitely is going to be a good one. He's just got to grow like a lot of these guys. That's all. They've got to just grow into the position. Don't forget. Yes, sir?
No, I was going to also say I think a lot of it goes to packages. Because, I don't think they're going to try that wide receiver run the Debo plays today. So they probably put Ezukama down, knowing they can probably use the speed of Chosen and the vertical game against the Broncos. So, and I think that's what's happening on offense. And then also I think they're doing the same thing with Cam Smith. Are they going to use him enough in this game to need him, I guess is my question. And
well, they got to eventually. The question is, do they work him in there today? Do they? Who else do they work in there opposite? Instead of Eli Apple, because obviously Eli Apple is not a guy that can be trusted. Okay, unlike Eric at EJD Construction, which of course you can always trust Eric at EJD Construction. 305-433-4843 if you're in Dade or Broward County, folks. And if you're looking for some custom home construction, major home remodeling, things are happening now. In fact, one of our listeners called Eric last week, and he told me about, because he goes, hey, you mentioned about building an efficiency or an Airbnb on people's property. One of your listeners called to build an efficiency for their home because their family is expanding. And so this is happening, man. Homes are getting foreclosed. We're going to get into a bit of a housing crisis and probably commercial buildings. Oh my God, the crisis is going to be enormous. What's going to be happening here over the next couple of months. And so a lot of families might be consolidating and people might be moving in with each other, and you might want to need to expand your property. Call the people at EJD Construction. We are in South Florida. People come to vacation here all the time. We've already had 2 of our listeners build Airbnbs. You can do the same thing. If you got a bigger property and you think you can build an Airbnb and you can make money off the property, go for it, man. Call EJD Construction. You want to modernize that kitchen. 2 of our listeners have done the home theater with stadium seating, which, by the way, that I don't have that kind of home because obviously I'm a working stiff. But man, whoever has an opportunity to build that, God bless you. I would love to have a theater room with stadium seating. That is absolutely badass. Call EJD Construction for the custom home construction and major home remodeling you need. Dade or Broward counties only. 305-433-4843. I can already see myself watching football in a stadium seating. That would be amazing. That would be awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Yes, Cam is inactive today. So, but they will have to, eventually they will work him in just like everybody else. And today we're going to see some of the other guys. They might get some shot over Eli. So let's see what happens, because Kohu is safe. But Eli, I gotta imagine that there might be some experiments, and maybe somebody else plays out there. So we will see, because it's too inconsistent. Cam will eventually be there, and Cam will get the opportunity because he looks good. He looks the part, but he's green. Pat Surtain had problems staying on the field in the first year. First year, he was lost. Ask him. He'll tell you. Like, his son is way ahead of him as a player. Like, way ahead of him as a player. Okay? So it happens. Tony Montana says he was going to carve him up for revenge. Really nice. That's it. Yes. You tell him I'm going to carve him up really good. Can you park in the lots if you're not a season ticket holder? I don't know, dude. I'm not a season ticket holder. I don't know. I don't go to the games. I'm always doing pre and post. So I don't go to the games. I watch it on television. So I would have no idea. Huh?
I know that they sell the, I don't know if they're the lots around the stadium. They sell the passes online in Dolphins.com and things like that. So I don't think you have to have tickets, but I don't know if you can get into that lot unless you have, you're a season ticket holder, because I think they get first dibs at those.
Right.
Most of them already sold the orange lot.
All right. So there you go. Or buy a parking pass from somebody, and then you're in. They sell them. They sell them all the time. So Mark Middleton, yellow parking lots, sell passes days of game, I think. There you go.
Costa Nostra wants to know if we're at the stadium today.
Yes, we're at the stadium.
Yeah, we're gonna walk out right now.
See, you're gonna walk-ons to the stadium. Yeah, we're gonna walk-ons to the field. Even without Waddle, it's still going to be a track meet. The horses better have plenty of cores and ice packs on the sidelines. Big O, are you? Yes, I am. Big O, is it me, or does this season feel special? When was the last time you expected to win most Sundays? It hasn't been in well over 20 years. I haven't had the confidence in this Dolphins franchise in well over 2 decades. Okay? There were moments, the silly Wildcat year, the Jay Ajayi year, the Lamar Smith year. Yeah, you had a couple moments where you felt good about the team, but I never felt like you were headed in the right direction. It was just kind of like, hey, we're having a decent season, yay, that kind of stuff. But I never felt any substance. It always felt hollow. It always felt like phony. Like, you're really not that good, dude. It's just things are going your way today. And so, hey, congratulations. Things are going your way. That's kind of the way it was. Nothing more, nothing less. This is exactly what true Fin fan, I'm 1,000% with you. This is real. A real front office, a real head coach, a real quarterback since Marino. We haven't had that either. That's why I never believed in the Jay Fiedler years. I never believed in the Lamar Smith year or the Jay Ajayi year or the bullcrap Wildcat year. Even though that year I predicted they would go to the playoffs. Because I said, hey, Pennington's good enough to get you to the playoffs. Not win anything, but get you to the playoffs because he doesn't turn over the ball. And sure enough, I was standing on the sidelines in the bubble next to Omar Kelly. Okay, Omar won't remember it, and I've told this story a couple times. He'll only remember now that I tell the story, but he doesn't remember it because Omar, as you all know, Omar has a terrible memory. And so Omar, we're sitting there, we're standing there watching, and Ted Ginn runs a 9 route down the sideline. The number 9 pick in the draft runs a 9 route down the sideline, and Chad Pennington throws it downfield like a 35-yarder. Brother, it hit Ted Ginn right in the helmet. He didn't catch it. The dumbass, if it hits your helmet, how can you not catch it? But anyway, I turn to Omar and I go, they got their quarterback. They'll make the playoffs this year. Because the rest of the team was decent. So it was like, okay, you got a guy, and sure enough, he didn't turn over the ball. He wasn't anything special, but he didn't turn over the ball. He was really smart with the foot. And it's amazing. If you don't commit a lot of penalties and you don't turn over the football, dude, you're going to have a chance to win a lot of games in the NFL. You may not make an impact in the playoffs and all that kind of stuff, and I didn't expect them to do that, but I thought they would at least make the playoffs. But I never believed in them. I've never believed in the Dolphins in a quarter century. I had a little bit with Jimmy, and then I immediately found out that I was being fooled by a guy that had no idea what to do with the offense. But then again, he had to be convinced to get Troy Aikman. So what can I tell you? The overrated Jimmy Johnson, the madly overrated Jimmy Johnson by so many of you out there. It's amazing. But I'm with you, true fan. This is real. This is real what they're building. Let's see. One-Eyed Jack says, I go back to 85. There hasn't been a Miami team like this. In 92, 94, Fins up, baby. Yep. Does anyone know of a place to watch the Dolphins in Orlando?
Just because I'm right on it, NorCal Dolphin did respond to that. He said, look up the Hideaway for Orlando Dolphin Club meetups.
Oh, okay. There you go.
NorCal Dolphins.
Dad Dean. Look up Hideaway for Orlando Dolphins Club. There you go. You should always, whatever city you're in, you should hit that city, Indianapolis Dolphin Club. And there's one. And if you're in New Jersey or New York or whatever, then do that. And hit the name of the city and then hit Dolphin Club. And then it'll come up, dude. We got a Las Vegas one. We got a Southern Cal. We got a NorCal. It's all over the place. But no, we don't have a great fan base. Let me tell you something, bro. It's funny when they say we don't have a great fan base? We have, I believe, as many or more Dolphin bars than other teams have their own bars all around the country. Okay? As many or more than most teams in the NFL. Because the Bucs don't have any around the league. The Falcons don't have any around the league. The Carolina Panthers don't have. You leave their vicinity, their city, and they don't come even close to what the Dolphins do. Not even close. That's why I laugh at people when they tell me we don't have a great fan base. I deal with our fan base. I know how good our fan base is and how big it is and how worldwide it is. So that would be my suggestion to you. Whatever city you're in, put the city and then Dolphin Club in Facebook or Google, and something's going to come up, and you'll find out. There you go. So I'm in dirty Jersey, and there are tons of Dolphin fans. Exactly. I laugh at that. Bakersfield, California is in the house. I'm from Buffalo. Thousands of fans up here. Dude, we have them listening to us. In Rochester and Buffalo, tons of Dolphin fans. Kiss my ass when anybody says that we don't have a great fan. We have an amazing fan base. We have one of the best fan bases in all of the NFL. Okay? It's not even close. We are awesome. All right, 1 hour down. We are at Walk-Ons in Kendall. Come on out, man. About 162 and Kendall Drive. Basically, you get off of the Turnpike in Kendall Drive and go west about 10 minutes. We're on the left side. You'll see us here. Huge place. Great food. Tons of TVs, man. Great views everywhere. There's a deck outside, and we're going to be giving away prizes in between every quarter, so you'll be able to collect some tickets and all of that good stuff, and we'll have some fun. Hour number 2 of the Big O Radio Show live, baby. The EJDconstruction.com Miami Dolphins pregame show live from Walk-Ons in Kendall continues.
With more than 62 years of litigation experience handling insurance disputes, Welton Rayom is committed to resolving even the toughest insurance claims quickly. At Welton Rayom, they don't get paid unless you win. They handle complex personal injury claims caused by the fault of another in both state and federal courts. They handle auto, trucking, motorcycle, slip and fall, and bicycle accidents. Call 954-966-4646. That's 954-966-4646. Welton Rayom can help.
This is the Big O Show. 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 This is the
I think I know what this is. Houston, we have a package. Hello?
No matter where you are, the Sloman Shield home security system guards your home. With next-gen perimeter protection, 24/7 monitoring, and interior motion sensing. And right now, get a free Sloman Shield security system and doorbell camera, all professionally installed, for free.
Shield your world, the Sloman Shield.
There's no need to drive around South Florida wasting valuable time looking for a new or certified pre-owned Acura. Go to the #1 volume sales dealership in the Southeast United States. Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. Purchase with pace and space in a dealership tailored to your needs. From home buying to providing that personal touch. Contact the 2020 Satisfaction Award winner Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. 888-776-5123. That's 888-776-5123. Or visit them at 15601 Pines Boulevard in Pembroke Pines.
For over 16 years, EJDconstruction.com has provided South Florida residents quality craftsmanship, accurate project management, and exceptional service. That's why EJDconstruction.com is an A-rated member of Angie's List and the Better Business Bureau. When you're looking for the right custom home builder for additions or home remodeling, please call my friend Eric at 305-433-4843. That's 305-433-4843 for EJDconstruction.com.
The viewpoint statements or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyAccess.com, Media Group Inc. ownership, management, sponsors, or website. Welcome back to the best coverage of Miami Dolphins football on any platform. This is the EJDconstruction.com Miami Dolphins pregame show on the Sports Talk 305 network. Here's your host, Orlando Alzugaray.
Solo. Am I team? Let's go. Miami Dolphins been killing it, fresh out the victory, planning to implement. Stripping our weaknesses really quick. Building up weekly is brick by brick. Put on the show, feeling imminent. Feeling like Rostock's no instrument. Stunting on Belichick, sharp as a razor. We just beat the Patriots in Gillette. They ain't been the same since Brady. We been in the game going crazy. We know we gon' hit the end zone, so we spending time in practice working on the celebration. Tell Russell Wilson it's time to ride. No, we from that water, it's time to slide. The Broncos gon' come into town, we gon' speed on the Broncos like OJ in 95. Tell the fans don't get hostile. Take a deep breath through your nostril. We just trying to watch the game and have a good time. Sip drinks, get loud, all good vibes. 2-0, you know Tua gon' stunt. 2-3, we on the Super Bowl run. All the fans been waiting for a while. We gon' be fresh to death when the Super Bowl come. And you can tell Jimmy we thank them. We just took a few of y'all players. You coaches and came from your system. We ripped them and just got your D coordinator. You don't know when the blitz gon' come, but you gon' feel when the hits gon' come. And when you start your receiver, they gon' get X'd out. You gon' see where the picks come from. The offensive line is a different breed. You can't get the Tua by any means. He tossed it to Tyreek, he switching speed. So hand it to Mostert, he in the scene. We been moving up, going steady. Defense hits going heavy. I don't think your coach really ready. Back at the hard rock, we yelling. Miami Dolphins been killing it, fresh out the victory, planning to implement. Stripping our weaknesses really quick. Building up weekly is brick by brick. Put on the show, feeling imminent. Feeling like Rostock's no instrument. Stunting on Belichick, sharp as a razor. We just beat the Patriots in Gillette. They ain't been the same since Brady. We been in the game going crazy. We know we gon' hit the end zone, so we spending time in practice working on the celebration. Tell Russell Wilson it's time to ride. No, we from that water, it's time to slide. The Broncos gon' come into town, we gon' speed on the Broncos like OJ in 95. DWA, week 3. We ain't 2-0, we 2-0.
There you go. There you go. Oh, Solo D. Yes, sir. With another rap. I love it. I don't know how he does it every week. I don't know how he does it. And he comes up with the music and the production and the videos. And he's so gifted, man. Solo D, much love, man. Enjoy the game. I know he'll be down there with everybody. And, of course, folks, don't forget you can make a donation through Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show, as always. And one of the things I saw on that video was Andrew Van Ginkel. And we've been big AVG supporters here for a few years. We've talked about how he's a ball hawk. He's a guy that just has a knack for making plays. And I'm really excited to see what he does coming off of last week. Because last week, man, he played outstanding football. You know, he looked like an impact player last week. He was an impact player, last week. And to me, I just, as Fangio tries to figure out what players can and can't do in his scheme, so that way he then knows how to design the defense that he needs for certain situations. Because remember, he's still trying to figure out what players can and can't do in these kind of situations. You really cannot actually duplicate these situations in mini camp or in training camp or even in the preseason because they're not scheming, actually. You know what I'm saying? So it's just one of those things where it's kind of a little different. And so you got to give him time to kind of figure things out. And one of the things that I am really excited about with Fangio is that he has already given AVG more respect and more room to grow than anybody else in the last couple of years. And I like that because I thought he was underutilized, throughout his early Dolphin career here. I didn't like that, actually. I thought AVG should have been playing a lot more the last couple of years. I thought he was underutilized. And so now watching Fangio, dude, he was flying around last week like a werewolf. And I want to see if that carries over. Now, remember, you got Jalen Phillips back. The plus about this is that if Andrew Van Ginkel is going to play like this, then you can have a rotation of guys and then keep them a little bit more fresh. Bad news for Emmanuel Ogbah, because I don't know what Emmanuel Ogbah is going to do now, to be quite honest. He's going to need an injury in order to play because he's not really going to get a lot of reps if Andrew Van Ginkel can play like this all the time. Really excited for Andrew Van Ginkel. Darian Hurd Sr., thank you for the love on the super chat. Appreciate you. Thank you. Coach McDaniel makes me want to read books. Atlas Dictionary. That's how I know he's good. Solo D gifted. Gets me lifted. There you go. George Cuello. What up, Big O? Just wanted to say you're the best, and let's get this dub today. Thanks for finding me tickets. Oh, you're the guy? You got it, my brother. Any way I can help anybody out, I'll do it, my brother. And I don't even know who you are, but I'm glad you were able to get the ticket. And thank you for supporting us. I saw some fool on YouTube saying AVG just played okay last week. Well, but why you listening to a fool? Who was the fool? That's what I want to know. Was it anybody legit or was it just, was it like a media member? Because, I'd like to know. Let's see. What else? True Fin fan says, can't go today, Big O. Stomach virus and wife won't let me go anywhere. Well, with a stomach virus, you shouldn't be going out anywhere, bro. So hang in there. Get better, True Fin fan. I know we'll see you here like we have all last year through you came for the Canes, bro. So you're hardcore. We have 2 Dolphin groups in the D.C. area, one in D.C. and the other one in Fairfax, Virginia. See what I mean? We have Dolphin clubs all over the world, bro. All over the world. I think people think our fan base isn't good because we get a lot of other fans at our home games, but that's because Miami is an international city. Exactly. We're a very transient town. So I explain it like this for a lot of people, okay? You come to a Dolphins game, hockey game, baseball game, basketball game, and the Knicks, the Rangers, the Red Sox, the Cubs, the Flyers, the whatever coming to town, you're going to get a lot of those Northeast fans because they live here. They're not just visiting. Very few are visiting, couple. But mostly, we got a bunch of people from the Midwest and the Northeast that, brother, they come to live here. And so they stay, loyal to the Yankees, to the Cubs, to the Rangers, to the Devils. So it's just kind of the way it is. And then you go to a soccer match, okay, without Messi. You go to a soccer match, and it's going to be hard to get, a great audience unless you're really winning a lot, and then you'll do that. But now you bring in Colombia and Brazil, you can't sell enough tickets. So you can't get New Yorkers to come support your local teams. You can't get Colombians to support your local soccer team. We're a very transient town because we have so many people from other parts of the United States and other parts of the world, Central and South America. That's why you can put Haiti and Jamaica in a stadium and you'll fill it up. And you'll get more for Haiti and Jamaica than you will for an MLS game without Messi. Why? Because we have a ton of Jamaicans and a ton of Haitians in this community. We're a different kind of town. Like, I'm born and raised here. I'm a freak, bro. I don't run it. People my age aren't born and raised here, dude. They just aren't. Most everybody came from somewhere, some other country or some other state. That's just the way it is. You know, so that's why we're a different kind of town, you know, and we can't be judged the same way, you know, but whatever. That's fine. It is what it is. Saban makes me want to kick a stray dog. Evil feelings when I hear that guy's name. Don't kick any dogs, bro. It's not nice. 2 tight end sets with Smythe and Hill. Let's go Phinz. I don't know about that, but we'll see. I'm calling the Perry Nickerson game today. There's a Dolphin bar in Erie, Pennsylvania. Wow. That was our first minor league team. Before we had the Marlins, we had the Erie Sailors. They opened up. Do you remember that, Al? Before the Marlins started, the year before the Marlins started, the Erie Sailors opened up their existence, and that was our first Marlins team, the Erie Sailors. Well, 87, because the Marlins started in 88. And so we had our first minor leaguers in the Erie Sailors. No, there was no before that. No. I'm talking about the Marlins, the Miami, the Florida Marlins. When we got our expansion team, we didn't have, like, the year before our expansion team, we had a minor league team so we can start building our franchise. And it was because he says there's an Erie, Pennsylvania Dolphins club, and that reminds me of the Erie Sailors, which is where we had Brett Barbary and all those guys. When they first got drafted, we had them in the Erie Sailors. And then the following year that we got our expansion team, some of those guys then went over and started playing. So, yeah, that's kind of the way, if I remember correctly. So Erie, Pennsylvania always reminds me of the Erie Sailors for the Florida Marlins, because it was the Florida Marlins in those days. I lived in Tampa, and most people used to tell me almost no one is from Florida anymore. Yeah, that's how it is. Most people aren't from Florida. I am a total freak. Total freak. Yeah. Let's see, what else do we have here? There was a Miami Mike's. Yes. He's a good dude too. I know Miami Mike. Yep. He's a huge Dolphins fan. So let's go over a couple things that you've got to look at in this matchup. We talked about Andrew Van Ginkel. We talked about the receivers. Without Waddle, what kind of combinations will they use? Will it be more of a situational type of thing throughout the game? We talked about Andrew Van Ginkel and what he did last week, and hopefully he can build on that. Then we gotta talk a little bit about the the Denver Broncos and what they've done the last couple of weeks. They have allowed, Miami has allowed 1 sack, right? 1 sack in 2 games. They've allowed 9. Denver Broncos allowed 7 sacks against Washington, who has a terrific defense and a terrific D-line, and 2 against the Raiders. So that's 9 sacks in 2 weeks. Jalen Phillips, this is the kind of game you want to come back to. Bradley Chubb, this is the kind of game you want to kind of get your revenge on. This is not a great offensive line. Plus, Russell Wilson will run into some sacks at times. He's not going to really use his legs a lot overall, because that's not really his game. but he will try to buy some time. And in doing that, he will open himself up to getting some sacks. And by the way, Mr. Wilkins picked up a sack last week. And Mr. Wilkins knows that he has to start adding sacks if he wants to get the kind of salary that he desires. So that'll be interesting too. Okay. Can Miami put pressure on the Denver Broncos, who have given up 4.5 sacks per game in the first 2 weeks? You get Bradley Chubb, who should be incredibly motivated against Denver. Jalen Phillips should be happy to be back and also very alert that Andrew Van Ginkel played very well last week. So if you are going to have a rotation, that means some of you might play a little less. So Jalen Phillips will be motivated to go out there. Obviously, Andrew Van Ginkel has got to be loving life right now because he finally has a coach that believes in him. And I don't know if even Emmanuel Ogbah will get any playing time, the poor guy. But again, that's another guy. Get after these people. And they will make some mistakes, okay? Overall, when it comes to penalties and turnovers, listen to this. Miami against the Chargers, 6 for 38 yards, and against New England, 5 for 45. That's a total of 83 yards. That's 9th in the league in penalties. It's not too bad. Now, the Denver Broncos, 10 penalties against the Raiders for 83 yards. 9 penalties against Washington for 58 yards. That's 19 penalties committed. Miami has 11 total. Okay? They have 19 and 141 yards, which puts them at 27th in the league. Turnovers, overall, Miami has 3 in 2 games. They have 2 in 2 games. So there's not going to be a lot of turnovers in this game overall. Okay? So but at least if you could get them to turn it over once, that'll be good. But they will make mistakes. And Miami, by the way, those pre-snap penalties and a lot of the stuff that happened to them last year, they've kind of erased that stuff. That's happened very little now in the first 2 weeks. So kudos to McDaniels on that. So they will make mistakes. They will give you opportunities to make plays. It's up now to Phillips and Chubb and Ogbah and Wilkins and AVG and all these guys to get after them and hopefully force it. But there will be plays to be made there. I guarantee you that. All right, don't forget, folks, if your business wants to be a part of our platform, you can call our business line at 786-754-4664. That's 786-754-4664. Don't forget that Sloman's Home Shield is a proud sponsor of our program. Yes, sir. We're in 14 different states. His home is protected by Sloman's. My home is protected by Sloman's. Alarmo is there for you, folks. They've been protecting Americans for over 100 years. Call 1-800-ALARM-ME, and we will give you a free doorbell camera. Tell them that you heard it right here on the Big O Radio Show. And when you do, and you use our professional installation and our low-cost central station monitoring, you're also going to get an LED touchscreen pad, a motion detector, 3 arm doors, and a backup battery, and it is so easy to use. And, folks, we are now working our way to winter. Well, when it comes to heating oil, Sloman's Home Shield has got that for you. 1-866-OIL-DEAL. Tell them you heard it on the Big O Show. Fixed prices, so you're going to save hundreds in the long run. You know what you spend on heating oil, and if you live in California, which sometimes you do need heating oil, even in April or May, they've got snow sometimes in Northern California. That was crazy this year. Connecticut, New Jersey, New York, Maryland, Virginia, so many different places we're at. Call them. 1-800-ALARM-ME or 1-866-OIL-DEAL for Sloman's Home Shield. My grandparents came from Cuba in 1956. My grandmother went back to Cuba to have my mother in 1958 and came right back. Mom is 65, never gone back. I'm 45, born and raised here in Miami. I'm all in. Yeah, we're very few of us, man. Tom Wilson Thank you for the love on the super chat. He says, listening in Lawrenceville, Georgia, having grandma and grandpa over to watch the game. They were season ticket holders in 72 and 73. They brought their receipts, $55 $55 a year. Wow, for each. Wow, season tickets were $55 in 1972. Is that crazy or what? $55 for season tickets in 1972. Cosa Nostra says, I was over 3,000 miles away from Miami when I became a Miami sports fan. Starting with the Dolphins, we've been competitive in any sport, and or any sport, I think. I don't know what you mean, or you mean every sport. Either way. NorCal says, we had snow in June this year. I know. It's crazy what's gone on in California. I mean, listen, the weather patterns all over the world now that's some wacky stuff, dude. It's the kind of crap that you can't explain. Yes, sir.
Jay Glazer was talking about the Jets quarterback position.
Okay.
So veteran QBs Matt Ryan and Carson Wentz have both reached out to the Jets, expressing interest in them joining the team. The Jets, however, are looking to stick with Zach Wilson for now.
Yeah,
that's only because those two quarterbacks reached out, right?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I see, here's the problem with that situation with the Jets. I know what's going on. I know exactly why the Jets haven't made the move. Do you know what's going on? They know Zach Wilson's psyche is not a strong one, right? Like you've watched Tua now, right? His psyche is, brother, I don't think there's concrete that's stronger than his psyche. He had a coach that hated him. I mean, he had all kinds of negativity, fans going after him, media, all that, and he just kept chugging along. Zach Wilson must be a little sensitive. And if they bring in Matt Ryan or somebody else, brother, the first mistake he makes, the entire crowd's going to start cheering for whatever backup quarterback they signed. And then that makes the kid feel uncomfortable. And then maybe if you bring in a veteran, then the kid right away feels like somebody's breathing on my back, and if I make a mistake. And so I think they're going to wait because nobody's going to sign Matt Ryan. Nobody's going to sign, what was the other guy out there? Carson Wentz. My God, Carson Wentz, that choker. Nobody's going to sign any of those guys, and they know it, right? So why bring them in at this point and create an uncomfortable situation for the youngster? Okay, let's get behind the youngster. He's our second overall pick. Let's try again. And if he can't do it, then we'll go sign the guy and we bench the kid and we move on and it's over. But if we do this before without giving him a chance, mentally he may not be able to stay stable. So that's what I think they're doing. They're avoiding the controversy until they know for sure they don't want to go down this road anymore with Zach Wilson. Okay? But if you've watched, God, I don't see anything in Zach Wilson that tells me he's the guy at all. I still laugh to this day, all the people that were bragging about that workout. Against no defense, no nothing, and you're bragging about a couple throws in a practice, in a workout where it's not even being defended. And I don't know how people were wowed by that with Zach Wilson or any other quarterback. You know, one of the things I've always talked about with quarterbacks, you know how I measure you? When I see you in chaos. That's what I loved. Go back and watch the videos. It's there on YouTube. Go watch the videos after the first year of Tua. And go look at my assessment. It's completely different than everybody else's. I tell you that he had an excellent year. I was super excited with the year he had. You know why? Because it was all chaotic. And he was still able to win more than he lost. He was still threw more touchdowns and interceptions in a completely chaotic situation. Dude, Tua in the first 2 years was getting pressured when he was handing off the football. I've never seen that in my life. So I don't think Zach Wilson is built like Tua. I never doubted Tua's ability. I knew he was a hell of a quarterback from the get-go. I certainly doubted his durability. Okay, it was a crazy thing to draft him at number 5. It was, Chris Greer's taking some chances. And it's worked out because he is a player. The question is, can he stay healthy? You know what I mean? That's the one thing that you can say about him. But everything else, that kid's money, man. And that's something I've never seen from Zach Wilson. I didn't see it at BYU. I've never seen it in a workout. I've never seen it in the NFL. I never saw it, period. So, that's why I think that's happening, that the Jets aren't bringing anybody in, because I think this guy's a little flaky when it's all said and done. Anyway. What else do we have here? Need to call this crew TNT in the Dynamite Twins. Roll out the boys at the beginning of the game playing a little AC/DC TNT. Oh, are we talking wrestling now? Is this wrestling? TNT Dynamite Twins, all that? That sounds wrestling-like. Okay. It's Tasting with Grayson. Oh, you see it? Okay, so I got to ask you because I have no idea what the hell that is. Broncos will play with desperation today to not go 0-3. Dolphins will miss not having Waddle. Berrios and Craycraft will be fine, but aren't Waddle. Yeah, but I still think they'll be fine. Nobody's Waddle on this team outside of, Tyreek can do what Waddle does, and Waddle may be able to do most of the things that Tyreek does. But they still have very good complementary receivers. See, here's where I don't worry as much. You got a great play designer. And to me, that's everything. When you know how to call plays like Mike McDaniel and set up against the defense that you're facing, that to me is the bomb. So that's why I don't worry as much. Are you as good? No, of course not. Without Waddle, you're not as good. But I still think you're going to be very dangerous. I'm laying the points, dude. I laid the 6 and the 5.5 because I got it at 5.5 this morning. So I doubled up on the Dolphins. Okay, I'm 4-0 with the Dolphins the first 2 weeks with the points and the money line. And this week I didn't take the money line because it's too ridiculous. But I am laying the points. Laid the points this week. Laid the points last week. Took the points the first week because the Chargers were giving us points, which was thank you, appreciate it. Hey, will Justin Herbert go 0-3 today? Tua should have never played as a rookie and still had one of the greatest seasons ever by a rookie. He was so phenomenal that year with the crap that he had around him. I don't think people really give him enough credit for how he handled the worst situation for a quarterback. A bad environment and a coach that hated you and did not want you and does not support you. That's terrible, dude. Peter Holland says, seeing the Dolphins playing in the Super Bowl and Usher performing the halftime show, I might just attend. Well, I know we're attending. We got our space in Vegas. We're ready to go. I got a house.
Let me ask you this. Which quarterback do you trust in this matchup? Kirk Cousins?
Don't.
Justin Herbert?
Don't. I don't trust either guy.
Nobody does because they're even on the line. So,
yeah, isn't it like 1 point?
That's even now.
Oh, now it's even?
Well, again, I'm just looking at the ESPN.
I thought I saw it a while ago.
Go to the real site. Somebody probably got a point.
Somebody was favored by a point on that one. I'll tell you what, I might trust the Vikings more than the Chargers, but as quarterbacks, I don't trust either guy. Yeah, I don't trust either guy. How's that? Yeah, one of them is going 0-3. Yeah, definitely. But I almost felt like the Vikings were kind of tanking anyways because they sold out players and stuff like that. So, they can't run the ball at all now without Cook. Alexander Madison is not doing the job. And anybody that drafted him in fantasy, you know what I'm talking about. You're struggling with Alexander Madison.
And then they traded for Cam Akers, but he's inactive.
Yeah.
Which probably
That's right, because he
doesn't know the play.
Yeah, exactly. And if you don't pick up the blocking scheme, you will get Cousins killed. So yeah, that's the thing. So I can understand that. That part I understand. Hey, dude, Cam Akers has been playing some of his best football. Did you see what he got traded for? A pick swap. They ain't paying running backs. They're not trading for running backs. Well, only some of you crazy Dolphin fans want to like trade a pick or a high pick and pay money to Jonathan Taylor or Saquon Barkley, who's injured, or Dalvin Cook. That was the other one. Either trade or then sign after for whatever. I heard people, no, give them 10, 12, 14 million. They just traded Cam Akers for a pick swap. And you guys out there, some of you keep thinking that running backs have value. Brother, they are the most interchangeable position in all of pro sports. There is no position more disrespected than the running back position. Cam Akers, you got him for a pick swap. That's some crazy shit, dude. Like, that's a decent running back. You got him for nothing. You got him because they pick swap because they're guaranteed that even giving him you're going to end up with the higher. They're going to end up with a higher pick than they have. That's crazy. Oh man. Chargers decided to not play J.C. Jackson. Yes, we saw that. Cousins puts up numbers just anchored down by a bum DC coordinator. He does put up numbers. Flores should be in jail for what he did to Tua. Big O, how many yards do you think Tua throws for today? I'm going over 270. Yes, I'm going over 270. Oh, bro, he's going to light up Sean Payton. Also, here's your Teddy Bridgewater. Here's your Teddy Bridgewater. Here's your Teddy Bridgewater, you son of a bitch. Yeah, that's what's going to happen all day. All day. Can Teddy do this? Can Teddy do that? And think about you people out there that actually thought Teddy Bridgewater was anywhere near the universe of Tua Tagovailoa. We had media members and fans that either thought Teddy was going to compete for the job, take the job, or he was better. Jesus Christ. That is just some crazy ass stuff. I hope the changes, the Chargers brat the Vikings, or you hope the Chargers beat the Vikings. It's part of my parlay, LOL. Okay. I don't know about Washington beating Buffalo, but I took Washington plus the points. That's what I did today. Today I have 3 games. Here are my 3 selections. Let me pull them up to make sure I give you the right points and all that good stuff. I took the Dolphins minus 5.5 or 6. I don't care. They're winning by 10. Patriots minus 2.5 against the Jets. And I'm taking Washington plus 6 versus Buffalo. So 2 favorites and a dog I'm going with. I think Washington is either going to keep it very close with Buffalo or surprise them and beat them. I like the quarterback. I've always liked the quarterback. I like Pickett too with Pittsburgh. He's just young. He's got to grow. But those guys, Pickett and Sam Howell, these are guys that I would take a chance on. The guy they have in North Carolina now, I would take a chance on him if I'm a team. They have the skill set. Whether they become that or not, I don't know. But Pickett is worth the pick, worth the chance. This kid, Sam Howell, was worth the pick and worth the gamble. What's the name of the kid from North Carolina now? I forgot, but he's going to be worth it also. Mike No-Go Zones is in the house. So I have no problem taking a chance on those guys. What's up, baby? What? Drake May. That's it. I don't have a problem taking a chance on Drake May at all. That those guys clearly have the skill set to play in the NFL. Now we'll find out if they can be the guys. But I kind of like Sam Howell, and I love the Washington defense. And Washington has some decent weapons too. They got a pretty good receiving core. They got a decent running game. I'm not going to be shocked if the Washington Commanders, oh my God, I got it right, actually win today. I'm not just taking them +6 and keeping it close. I would not be shocked if the Commanders win. I can't believe I did not say the R word. I always say the R word. Big O, I'm glad the Dolphins passed on Dalvin Cook, but half of this fan base think that he could be successful. But you don't need him. Why are you going to pay $8 million to a guy that's going to be a part-timer? There are no more bell cows. Raheem Mostert is playing better than him, better than Saquon Barkley, and better than, who's the other guy that's injured right now? Jonathan Taylor. Okay, because he's out for a month. So until I see those guys, outplay the running core of Miami, why would you need them? If you're going to spend $8 million, spend it on an offensive lineman. Next year, when we're covering the draft, okay, we're going to be talking about offensive linemen. That's what we're going to be doing. All right, we'll be talking about offensive linemen because I want them to draft an offense. Remember how I've talked about drafting a quarterback every year? Now you can do it every other year because you have a quarterback, right? But now I want you drafting a lineman every year. Miami? Arrival late? Anyway. Oh, God. What do you got for me?
Joe Shad saying Dolphins showing Xavier Howard and Cater Kohu at cornerback.
Oh, so they moved Kohu outside.
Again, that's what they're showing. But I think last time they showed that, and then when the game started, it was something else. But right now they're showing that what they're showing on the field.
I told you that there will be some experiments on that side with Eli Apple, but I didn't think, you know what? I didn't think Needham's not back. Isn't he like on IR? Yeah, he's 4 weeks. So who are they going to play in the slot? Wow, I'm interested. I'm very intrigued. I mean, I love Kohu. You all love Kohu. We don't trust Eli Apple, but Kohu, I'm a huge Kohu guy, bro.
Maybe on that, Kohu slides back into the slot and they put Eli outside just for that.
I mean,
I'm really throwing things against the wall here.
I got you. Okay. Marcus Shabbat, thank you, sir. Appreciate the love on the super chat. Appreciate you, sir. As always, thank you for supporting the platform. Don't forget to smash the hell out of the like button, too, at the same time. McDaniel knows what he needs. If he had Greer, I need a power back. We would have restructured contracts, and it would have happened. The fact it didn't happen tells you all you need to know. Resolute Graphics is a guy that kind of understands what the hell is going on. Darth Cater interception today. I like that. I can go for that.
Oh, I think we got a trader.
We got a trader?
I think we got a trader. Cam Wolf just posted this on X. On the X app, not on
X. All right, Twitter.
Not about Xavier.
X, formerly Twitter.
Yes. Cowboys cornerback Pat Surtain told me he expects to see a lot of Tyreek Hill today, including while he's in motion. Plus, getting tips from his dad, Pat Surtain Sr., a Dolphins coach last year and legend here on facing the Miami offense.
Okay.
Traitor.
Wow. Well, it's blood.
Carve him up.
Nothing's thicker than blood. He could give him all the tips he wants. Is Pat Surtain Jr. covering all the receivers? You know what I mean? He's got enough to worry about with Tyreek. And by the way, if they're going to have Surtain running around with Tyreek for 4 quarters in that heat and humidity, I love it. I love it. Okay? Love it. Yes, sir.
If you can check Dad Dean, he put in there today. Can you give a shout out to my mom? 77th birthday today.
Where is that? Here we go. Dad Dean. Yes. Give me a name, dude. Mama Dean. Happy 77th birthday, Mama Dean. Thank you for watching us. Thank you for rooting for the Dolphins. And thank you for producing Dad Dean because, he's watching and supporting the show. So we appreciate that too. You produced a listener to the show. I love it. A supporter. It's awesome. What was that?
If he's Dad Dean and that's his mom, that can't be Mama Dean. Well, I guess Mama Dean.
He calls
Mom.
I got you. So he calls her Mama Dean.
All
So
right,
I got
all right.
So, we got to call her Mama Dean at the same time. So we'll do that. If Twitter posts used to be tweets, what the heck are X posts? Sean Payton should be back on Fox NFL Sunday again. He doesn't have Breeze to ride on. Bills are thin and undersized at linebacker. Run the ball on them. All you have to do is cover Tyreek is to be a whole lot faster. Good luck, my boy. There you go. Mob Rule, thank you very much. I appreciate you, man. Elon must be Prince fan, X formerly known as Twitter. Yeah, could be. Hear me out, Big O. I'm putting big cashews on Russell Wilson running away from Ginks like a gazelle running from a cheetah. Let's ride. More like, let's run, Russ. Rage in, I think Washington's. Oh, no, you're talking to Rage in there. Okay, I see. Christopher Polito says Sam Howell has not lost any games he started so far. I like the kid. I like him. I've liked him ever since he was in North Carolina with the ACC. He just looks like a real quarterback. He has the stuff that you need. Now we'll see if he can sharpen it at this level. It ain't going to be easy, Oh, by the way, let's do our 3A graphics sports calendar. Since today's an important day. One, we got to give the Marlins a little love. They won yesterday. Still a game back right now in the wild card race. They are playing at 1:40, so an hour from now. Freddie Pialta, is it Pialta or Peralta? No, it's Peralta, I'm sorry. And Edward Cabrera towing the slab at 1:40. At 7:30, Orlando City is hosting Inter Miami. So we'll see. We'll be home for that. You might not be. You might not be. Might not be. You'll at least you'll catch the second half while you're working. That's probably what's going to happen. And then congratulations to number 20 Miami. They took care of business against Temple, 41-7. They got a bye week this week. October 7th, they're back in action against Georgia Tech. Henry Parrish with 139 yards and 2 touchdowns. Jacoby George, what a beautiful catch, man, for that touchdown. That was absolutely awesome. And Tyler Van Dyke, 200 yards and 3 touchdowns. Another solid game, 4-0 for the Canes. And Mario Cristobal has got it going on. And, folks, if you need custom printing and embroidery, call our friends Alan Blanco at 3A Graphics in Hialeah, 786-251-3404. That's 786-251-3404. That's your 3A Graphics sports calendar. All right. And by the way, give the Marlins a victory cigar for yesterday, man. They did get the win. That's good. And by the way, if you need your own victory cigar, you can go to your nearest cigar store and lounge, ask for Perdomo Cigars. Or if you live in South Florida, in Miami Lakes, the Perdomo Cigar Factory and Lounge is there at 5150 Northwest 167th Street. So you can get your own 20th anniversary, 10th anniversary. You can get shirts and hats and lighters and all kinds of stuff. There are Perdomo Cigars. Go to perdomocigars.com. And you can also check out the different lounges that we have all throughout the country, baby. perdomocigars.com. All right. So we've got Butch Berry motivated, right? We've got Fangio fired, motivated. We got Chubb traded from Denver, motivated. And we got Tua. Sean Payton talking shit about him in the offseason. Motivated. Lots of motivation for 4 different players. Lots of motivation for Christian Wilkins because he wants that money. Connor Williams. Bad snapping this week. Very proud of Connor Williams. He took the heat. He took the blame, which he should. It's not on Tua. I love what Tua did. That he, tried to take a little bit of the bullet for him and all. It ain't on Tua. It's all on Connor Williams. Tua's never had any problem with any other center. This is the only center that he's ever had an issue with. That's because the guy is not a center. So this guy's got to be motivated. Come on, man. You're going to cost your team a game with one of those bad snaps. So you got to do better. You know what I'm saying? So let's hope that, there's a lot of reasons to be motivated here. Andrew Van Ginkel has gotten an opportunity that he hasn't gotten with other coaches. So he's going to play like a werewolf every time, like his ass is on fire. That's how he's going to play. Kohu's out there. He knows they signed Jalen Ramsey. He knows they brought in Eli Apple, all that. He's going to still be motivated to prove who he is. There's a lot of reasons for people to be motivated out there. Not just out of pure professionalism, but personally, they have some kind of carrot dangling. Austin Jackson has to continue to prove that he can be the guy. He allowed a sack last week, so obviously he's not perfect. Much better than what we've seen for the first few years. But there you go. If Kendall Lamb doesn't play today, he's got to stay ready. What's it called? The left guard now. Isaiah Wynn, another guy. He's played well. He's got to continue. There's a lot of reasons and a lot of motivating factors going on right now, with the Miami Dolphins. And then as a franchise, Tua talked about it this week, how in Miami they're ready for a championship, which we are. We've been dying for a great team for a long time. Man, they all know that this franchise hasn't been great for a long time. Mike McDaniel knows that he has to prove to people that he can be a great head coach. And by the way, he's going against what's considered a great head coach on the other side, which I don't know if Sean Payton's a great head coach anymore, but whatever, we'll see. But McDaniel has plenty of reasons to prove it. Vic Fangio didn't have a good first week, had a much stronger second week. He's got to build on that too. I mean, it's just the motivating factors are tons today. And that's the beauty. By the way, you know what I do miss? I miss Roger Morant's raps. He's not doing them anymore. I don't think he's doing them anymore. Unfortunately, he did a good job with him last year. They were fun. Yes? What do we got?
Exhibit number 2, Patrick Surtain, you're dead to me.
Oh, okay. All right.
He's on the sidelines.
On the other side.
Wearing Broncos gear.
It's his son.
I don't care. You're dead to me. Madison's always been better.
Ah, there we go. I'm about to get my pregame attitude adjustment completed. Puff, puff, give. Hey, well, we don't have much of a pandemic anymore, so you can pass now, okay, NorCal? When you puff, puff, you can pass. It's all right. Back in the pandemic days, we told you roll a personal. But now, yeah, go ahead and pass. Dad Dean says, I'm at Hideaways. Let's go, Phinz. Samuel Rosa. Hey, Sean, did you see head coach Mike McDaniel break down a play from New England last week? It's on Phinz Hub for today's game. Hype. Check it out. Awesome to see if you haven't seen it. I saw it. You saw it? Yeah, I saw it. So is Phinz Hub like something of the NFL? Because I'm wondering how come they can have like NFL highlights. I've got my rum and Coke served, my cigar on my Dolphins table and Dolphins chair, wearing my Howard jersey too. Hate the new logo, but it was a gift. I'll wear it proudly. 2713 Miami. Roger Morant, greatest rapper ever, probably. It's right up there. It's him and Solo D, right there. Big O ready for that victory blunt. Sean will be hitting greens. Big O, I always roll a personal, but I'll pass eventually, LOL. He passes it to you when it's a roach. There's nothing left except paper. Here you go. Thumb pass. And that's it. What else do we have going on? I think I've covered most everything that I wanted to cover today in the pregame show. Postgame, by the way, David Furonis is going to join us, and Safadine. David, of course, with our EJDconstruction.com Miami Dolphins postgame show, postgame report, that is, and Safadine with our BaptistHealth.net/ortho postgame report. Straight from the locker room, we'll get the freshest. We'll also have the press conferences. We'll play the audio for you on McDaniel and Tua, so you'll get to hear from the coach and the quarterback. Got that going on. And what else? What else do we have? Marvin, by the way, the Mims Jr. kid, look out for him. They started using him a little bit like Debo last week. The Sutton kid is like a possession guy. The Brandon Johnson kid also can make some noise. And then Jerry Jeudy obviously is a burner. But the Mims Jr. kid, be careful with him. He had 113 yards last week. He's also been used as a rusher. So they kind of use him all over the place overall. That's interesting. He only rushed 2 times yesterday for 10 yards. But, again, it could be used for, first down purposes and those kind of things. So Mims Jr. is one of those guys that the defense is going to have to worry a little bit about because he does bring a little versatility to the game. I'm interested to see if they try to expand any of his responsibilities today. Alexander News Show, thank you for the love in the super chat. He says, Big O. Oh, well, hey, man, I'm happy for Tobin. He's a good dude, bro. I got no problem with that. Jose Lucas, Dabo and O'Connell had great first seasons as a head coach, but are off to bad starts. Can you do it again? McDaniel so far is proving that he's a great coach. We will find out. We will find out if they can actually do it. All right. On behalf of Sean Stanley and, of course, the great people here, Yanira and Joe and all the great people out here at Walk-Ons, appreciate all of you out there as always. Those of you that have it locked in here, we will see you, by the way, this afternoon, after the game is over. The second the game is done, the post-game, the game ends, our post-game begins. All right? The EJD Construction post-game show live from Walk-On starts the second the clock ticks 0. Dolphins, 27. Broncos, 13. We'll see you post-game.
This has been the EJDconstruction.com Miami Dolphins pregame show on the Sports Talk 305 network. The show is mastered by Sean Stanley and Chad Show. From home to kitchen to bathroom additions and remodelings, get in contact with one of the best contractors in the business. Call Eric at EJDconstruction.com, 305-433-4843. Please subscribe to our platform by searching Big O Radio Show on all digital avenues. We'll be back with a complete wrap-up of the game once the last second ticks off the clock. Thank you for your support and enjoy Dolphins football.